also brawny. Oh, God. Yeah. Hello and welcome to another nerdy episode of another nerdy talk show where I'm in a fucking swimming pool. You have no idea how hard it is to say hold your breath down for an entire opening, people. I swear to God, it's impossible. No one will ever know the
Sounds
pain.
like you need to work on your cardio.
You need to work on your cardio, jackass. Okay,
I do need to work on my cardio, but that doesn't help you hold your breath in the freaking pool.
How would it help you then?
Like, yes, it's true, but yes, it's true, but that doesn't change your freaking situation.
Maybe, maybe not.
I bet you I could still outrun you being 30 pounds overweight over here.
I can imagine. Anyway, welcome to another nerdy episode of another nerdy talk show. Everybody, we talk nerd. We got a special night tonight where we got my buddy the concert Cruizer not late for once, and our special guest, this old friend of mine, Brawny Buck. Welcome to the show. Thank you for taking time.
Hey, how you doing?
Here.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Of course. So I should probably answer the question on everyone's mind: why the hell are you out here, Evan? Well, let me just explain what happened. Essentially, we had an air conditioner at my house and it broke, and the guys that were trying to fix it were supposed to have it done by Friday, except they didn't. So now my whole house has been 90 degrees Fahrenheit in this whole weekend. And I'm saying to myself, no, I'm not going to do this indoors. And if I cancel it, it's going to be kind of annoying because I've already not broadcast a couple of episodes already. And of course, Cruiser's going to throw a shit fit. He's not really going to throw a shit fit, but basically, I just decided, fuck it, I'll just bring the entire setup outside. And that's what I did. Look at my screen here, guys. This is what I'm looking at right now. I have my whole desktop out here with my lights flying on that TV, that light, and the pool lights. Ugh.
God almighty, that horse with the glasses on the screen there is pretty freaking ugly. Get him out of here.
Horse with the glasses. Yeah, I know. No, he'd look better if he had longer hair.
Yeah, I freaking hate that guy.
I know, he's a complete Jolly Brown jackass, am I right? That nickname never gets old. So, Cruiser, I want you to do the honors. Tell him why is Brawny here tonight?
Well, Ronnie is here because we are going to relive some of our favorite memories from our old convention, some of our old stomping grounds, the Grand Brony Gala.
Wait, what the hell is that?
That is where we all met.
Wait, what the hell is that?
For better or worse.
I don't know what that is.
Evan, stop. The joke is over.
No, Cruiser, I don't know what that is. You should explain to me and quite possibly the audience what it is.
I just said it was the convention that we all first met at. See, if you would actually keep your mouth shut, you would have heard it.
I mean, I met Brawny before the Grand Brony Gala.
Yeah, you guys met at Full Sail, but the three of us came together at Grand Brony Gala.
No, we didn't meet at Full Sail either. We just happened to go to the same thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, we were there roughly, I mean, totally tangentially to the Grand Brony Gala, but we were at Full Sail at roughly the same time and in the same degree program and didn't run into each other.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I think you came like later in the years, not
Might
with
have.
me. But like
Might have.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I met you at the gala, or no, it was through the Central Florida Bronies
Correct.
meetup group,
Yeah,
and we went to I don't know, it was some gosh darn meetup, and that's where we first met up. Really,
It was the Equestria Girls movie premiere.
Yeah,
I have a video of you jumping off the side of a wall saying, "Here comes a flying bro fest."
yep. You got a video. You also got a video of me stuck in a one of those coin operated like bulldozer rides for toddlers.
Oh yes.
At some freaking Toys R Us down in the Orlando area.
I know. I remember me saying, "What's that lever on the thing supposed to do?" You use it. You're like, not a whole lot. Which is, I find it funny because you didn't you sneak into that movie?
No.
I thought you. Oh,
I bought a ticket.
Oh, I thought you snuck in the movie.
No, I mean I've snuck into movies before, but that one I bought the ticket.
Oh my god. Who hasn't who hasn't snuck into a movie? I mean, I
There
did.
was another meetup that we were supposed to go to as a group. It was for the Lego movie, and the times got mixed up, and everybody went to a different showing than I did.
Yikes.
Yeah.
But
Just-
yeah,
not a
not a big fan. Unless am I snuck into
no, it was just so I didn't sneak into that movie either, just so you know.
I hear you. I mean, like the only movie I snuck into was we wanted to go see 30 Minutes or Less, so we pretended we were trying to see Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and we just snuck into the theater that it had at the same time. I really regret that decision to this day. Not because I snuck into the movie, but because I saw 30 Minutes or Less as opposed to Dawn of the
It's a
Planet of
bad
the Apes.
movie.
What?
Yeah, so I think the movie had the last laugh.
Basically, I'm like, I'm not sneaking into another movie again. This is bullshit. Like, but like, no, yeah, I met Brawny in the Central Florida Bronies. We went to the Equestria Girls meet. It was a fun time. I actually really, to this day, I say if I didn't go to that meet, I'd probably be dead by this point. Because, you know, I love the...
Gentlemen, I need to step away from the computer for just a second. I'll be right back. Continue
Okay.
talking. Sorry.
So, Cruiser, I apologize if I noticed you're a little silent. I'm assuming that's because, should I tell you what situation you're in right now? Just to...
Just been sick lately, so I'm a little hoarse, pun intended.
Ha!
But the other thing too is that I didn't come into the picture until like maybe 6 months before the gala.
Oh yeah, that was fun because like I'm gonna get to wait till Brawny comes back to get to that point. But no, I went after we had the Equestria Girls meet. I did some stuff with Brawny. We made epic Brony cupcake time or whatever it was called. Well, I don't remember what that video was, but you can see it's like a live action movie with me behind the camera. Uh,
I'm
him
back.
hurting.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, it's cool. I was telling him like after
So what?
I was saying after the Equestria Girls meet, me and Brawny, we made a picture together. What was it called? Epic Brony Cupcake Time, or was it like?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was where we had like 4 birthdays in the group in the same month.
Oh yeah, that was.
And so we had a big old party at somebody's house, at one of our friends' house.
Oh yeah.
And Chuckley Funny's been on my show a couple of times.
Oh yeah, I have been. Every single time
and
I get hurt, I get hurt. Oh, I'm not gonna get hurt in this one here because you know my pony self is the one that gets hurt. I'm not gonna get hurt here, so yeah.
Yep, that was our running gag for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been in any of your videos for a while, so yeah, I can't really complain. I mean, I would love to do another video with you, but like that's the thing, I can't do collabs because my OC puppet is too complex. But that's another story altogether.
It shouldn't be a problem.
Me and Brawny did a lot of stuff. So during that summer, before Equestria Girls came out, the first Grand Brony Gala happened. I don't think any of us went to it. Did you?
I went to it.
You went to it?
Yeah.
All right, tell me what the
that's so it was a day-long convention. I showed up a little bit late because I overslept. I was working in nightclubs at the time, and I didn't get home till like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I had planned to wake up at 7 and drive down to Tampa, and I woke up at 7 and I said I'm not safe to drive, and I went back to sleep for a couple of hours. So I got down there, saw some panels. The panels were all really good. Went through the dealer's room. The dealer's room was really good, especially for a first-year convention.
Oh yeah.
I remember walking into the what do you call it? The hotel right off the bat. And the first thing I see is some old guy at the front desk, and he goes, "What's going on here?" And they say, "It's the Brony convention." And he goes, "What the heck's a Brony?" And then the lady at the front desk said those are fans of My Little Pony. The dude goes, "My Little Pony, the frick?" And yeah, this is 2013 we're talking about
I think
here,
it was
so
14.
it's
Yeah, it was.
no, it was 13.
Well, let me hold on a second. 4, 3.
And then they had their
Yeah.
stage, and
Yeah,
then
it
they had
was.
their stage show, and the stage show was really good.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's still footage of it online somewhere. It was basic stuff there. We made a lot. You were the first one to meet most of the gang at at Central Florida Bronies when they were together. You met like a lot of the other friends there that were some of which were even
Yep.
featured in the video.
Yep.
That was good.
And when it was they had a really cool dinner and a show type of thing going on. They sort of continued that vibe throughout the rest of the years. And when it was done, I had nothing to do. That was my first convention. So I just showed up with my camera and just took pictures of everything. And then so when they were done, I had nothing else to do. So I went, "Hey, do you guys need help breaking down?" And they let me help them break down. So that was pretty that was really fun there. And I just and because I pretty much had been trained in that type of thing, it was really easy for me to just get everything down really fast. Okay, where do you want me to put it? Help them load it up. I like helping people, so it was really good for me to do that,
Yeah.
or at least that I enjoyed it, if
Right.
that means anything. But so that's what the first year was like. I don't have a whole lot of memories. That's where I met Eric Bennett, who we knew at the time as Brodash. And what else happened there?
Like I didn't see a lot there. I saw like the karaoke contest. Cruiser, did you see anything from any footage of Gala 1?
Nah, I didn't come to the picture till Gala 2.
Oh yeah. So it was a success. The first one was a decent success for a first year con.
Yeah.
It's probably worth mentioning right now that the gala was a charity event. It was for what was it? All Children's Hospital Children's Miracle Network.
Yes. And the reason behind that was because the con chair's daughter and their friend were friends with a
We'll be
girl who
referring
was a
to the con.
beneficiary. And
Let's just refer to the chair as Miss Jacobs. I think that would be a good
yeah, so
idea.
well, Mrs. would be more accurate, but anyway, yeah, Mrs. Jacobs, um, her daughter who helped her put on the convention, and their friend, believe her name was Anjane. They had a friend who was a beneficiary of that charity, and she passed away. So it was kind of in her honor and in her memory that they put on this convention.
Hmm.
So that was and it was that was the beneficiary for the convention year over year, the whole 4 years that that convention ran. That's what we were trying to raise money for. And I don't know if we always managed to raise money. There were some bumps along the way for sure. But the first year I know they raised like $1,300.
Interesting.
And yeah, and I don't know what the rest were the second year, because after that first year I just sort of threw myself into it because I had so much fun and I love these people and I want to do more for them. And I like the cause. I took several hundred pictures that day. I ended up keeping like 2 or 300, and I threw them up there, and they got picked up by a Georgian news network that sort of told the story about the convention.
Odd, but
And
okay.
then and I was I feel a little bit guilty for this because I think I'm the one that caused it, but they used all my pictures, and I was like, cool. And I said, hey, would you guys mind just linking to my portfolio so I can get credit for these pictures,
And
right?
did they?
And no, they took it down. They took down the whole article, and then nobody got to. And so, yeah, I don't think that's the right thing to do. That could have been handled better. But I also sort of feel guilty for, bringing it to their attention that they did not, in fact, give me my credit.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Which you would think would just be a basic thing you would do with some sort of journalistic integrity, is make sure you credit your frickin' sources.
I know, right?
Whatever.
I mean, even I try to credit as many as I can. That's why I keep a works cited page. And hello, blue Psycho Ranger, how you doing? I'm reading the chat. So yeah, that was basically the first convention in a nutshell. So what happened after that? So next up, there was no doubt that they were gonna do the sequel to it.
Yeah.
And this is when so like I said, me and Brawny, we met each other through this convention. And not the convention, the CFB, but I met Cruizer through the through this convention. Brawny was the one who actually introduced me to him. I just gotta know, Brawny, where did you find this guy? How did you find Cruizer?
I didn't find him. He was freaking dropped in my lap. Like
It's
that's
so weird. I literally, what happened with me is, believe it or not, I actually had met Kathy Westlock the prior year at a different convention when I was living in New York, but somehow my picture got deleted. And she tells me, via Twitter that she's going to be coming down to Tampa for something called the Grand Brony Gala. And at the time, I wanted to start interviewing performers, so I asked if I could do media. Now, when I did that, whenever I ask anybody or any band if I can do media, that just means to show up, do an interview, take some pictures, and you're done. She took it as me being wanting to be part of the media team for the gala.
Yeah,
I figured, you know what?
So that's how you got drafted into that, huh?
Yeah, so I figured, okay, you know what? Screw it. And that's when I met you guys.
Let's be real. We needed all the help we can get.
Well, that was the thing with me. Like when I did it, I was drafted into it, no doubt, because like I was there, namely just to, what's the word I'm looking for? I was there namely because I did like my own publicity. What did I do? I did mainly just sorry, I'm also editing the I was there namely just, I made one commercial for it to advertise my panel, and I think they took it as one of those, as like, hey, he's part of the media team. I'm like, I guess. See, I was kind of drafted in there, honestly. I didn't really have any interest in that media team.
I'm starting to think I was the only one that actually frickin' applied for that position.
I wouldn't be surprised. We
Yeah,
like when we did the media team, we only had like 3 guys. It was me, you, and Cruizer.
We had more than that, but they never showed up and they never did any work. So at the second year, I applied for the media team position. They needed a leader. I had leadership experience, so they gave me that. They gave me that position, and then that's when you and Cruiser got dumped into my lap, and there were others there, and I remember one of them by the name of Robert, and we got beef with Robert for some related reasons and some unrelated reasons, but um, and there were a few people there, and they were just the media team had some bad eggs. We had but some not bad eggs were our friend, we called him Featherweight at the time. His name is Anthony. He was usually really good with the camera equipment as well. Didn't take the best pictures, but he had all the necessary gear, and he was he's a really hard worker, and he took enough really good pictures that it was definitely worth having him on. And I loved working with him. Who else was on there? We had Josh Villarreal of goodness, I keep forgetting the name of his game studio, and it's changed a couple of times, but he was doing Super Smash Ponies at the time.
Oh yeah, that was the worst thing. Like we went in there completely like, look, like I'm gonna say, yeah, the performance of the media crew that year was not good, but to the in hindsight, we went in with like little to no training and no idea what we were doing. So yeah,
You guys had little to no training. I was trying to teach people,
Well,
And
that was hard because the other thing was you were drafted into the play, weren't you?
no, not till year 3.
No, you were in the second. No, you were in the second one.
Which year was John Delancey there? Was
John
that 2
Delancey was
or
number 3, but
3?
you played King Sombra in Gala 2.
I did play King Sombra in Galat. Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah, oh my God. We're talking about something that was like 10 years ago at this point. And my memory's bad enough as it is. I'm
Oh
getting
yeah, it's
old.
fine. It's no problem. You don't remember a lot though. I
But
remember like
yeah, I'm old. I'm old. I've got too much going on, and I've got crippling depression. Those 3 things do not mix well for memory.
believe
But
me, I can
let
relate.
me keep
No,
let me
go ahead.
keep going here is yeah, so but really being a part of that play, because I had literally no lines in one of the plays, and in the other one I was there for one scene at the end. I think I had like 6 lines, and it's the same 6 lines from that Sombra had in the Crystal Empire, which I disagreed with in terms of direction, but I went with it, right? So yeah, really, I think there were only 2 bad eggs in the media team, and really just it was a matter of getting you guys up to speed, and I knew you guys could do it, and for the most part, I was proven right. I just had to, you know, get you organized. Year 3 was rough because I was out of state and trying to run things remotely,
Oh yeah, that was huge. And then like
and
year 4, year 4 was when I was in charge of the media team, and I had I will admit I had some bumps along the way. But for the most part I did pretty good. The problem was the last one. During the gala, the thing that kind of broke things up there was I had to travel back to Philadelphia because somebody died and I had to attend a funeral. So I got back, I'm kind of like destroyed and I have to like do all this stuff. But like it had bumps, but I will say the control set, the way we did the play on that one was pretty good.
yeah.
Honestly, I actually
So
have
What
we
about
had all that
Anthony
going on.
Wynn? What about Anthony Wynn?
who?
That's what I said. He was really good.
All right.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear that
All right,
part.
No,
Anthony was
yeah, I
Anthony's
loved working with him. He
Anthony's a
didn't
good
like
photographer.
working with me. He didn't like working with me, which was unfortunate. And as I understand, he later saw like, oh, you know, the things I thought about Brawny were not accurate, and he's apologized for them. And yeah, that's fine. But it was just unfortunate in the moment because you know, y- I feel bad if people don't like being around me, especially if I've got to be the one leading them, and I'm trying to actually get things done here, and there's resentment among people I think are my friends. God, it's not a pleasant feeling. So I didn't like that at all, and I got a lot of respect for Anthony. So that was that situation. But that's I don't know. It's neither here nor there. He didn't let it affect him, and that's one of the best
Yeah, I
things.
agree. I really do agree on that. I mean, he was a good photographer. I liked his inventive setups, like how he made like most of his like he had like these what did he use? Like PVC pipes for his like stabilizers and everything that he like formed into like lenses.
He might have at one point. Every time I saw him, he had actual like really good equipment.
Yeah, I liked his inventive stabilizers. Like he had this one that looked like a firearm, which was really cool. Like he was inventive. I thought those were really cool.
Yeah.
But like yeah, he was a good for the photography team. I remember like I was glad that he was there. He like knew what he was doing. Um,
Hmm.
as for the other ones, I don't really have no idea what the other ones were like. But yeah, like year 1.
Well, Josh Villarreal was good for video editing if we needed help. He was usually if I just needed an extra hand, he was there and he was good for it when he wasn't back and forth between Texas. And then there was you, Cruiser, myself, Anthony. So that and then there were just 2 more that were really only there in name because then they dipped. Uh, and I don't know if you want me to tell those stories. It may sound like I'm being like negative,
Uh,
but there were a lot of happy memories. So I'll say that if you want me to tell the stories of the 2 guys that just didn't make the cut, I'll just preface that with there was a lot of really good memories behind working at the gala.
Yeah.
Well, just don't name drop them. You can tell the stories. Just
Yep.
Okay, so one we got, and I'll just say his name was Robert, and Robert was very entitled, and just thought he could be a part of it without actually doing anything. And it's like, hey, we're running this skeleton crew operation here. We're trying, we need all the help we can get. We need people actually like participating. And I knew that he was really just in it for the like for the day pass. And
Oh,
I
obviously,
didn't
yes.
yeah, and I didn't appreciate that at all. And so I kicked him off, and he tried to pull rank on me,
What?
like I'm not the leader, because his mother was financing a big part of the gala. Like she was a big donor for it. And I was like, no, I don't play those games. It does not. First of all, you didn't give any money to the gala. Your mother did. See, and quietly in my head, secondly, you are way too freaking old to be living with your mother still. And third, it doesn't give you the right to, break promises to us or uh, not, carry your weight in my team. And can't afford dead weight. I'd rather you not be there. So just, yeah, get off my team. And, yeah, they obviously didn't appreciate that, but thank God Arlene like stuck up for me and you know was understanding about the situation. And that was that. And then when we actually got to the convention and Robert was still there and he asked if he could help us, I said sure, and I gave him some basic instructions. He followed them well enough, but like there was that guy. And then there was the other guy that that tried to usurp me as the leader. He
what?
comes in. I don't even remember this dude's name. I think and part of the reason, but one thing I do remember is that he changed his name in the middle of like planning the convention, right? And so he applies, he gets the position. He's from out of state. So I'm like, okay, I can have you do some other things for me, right? Like
This
maybe you
was
can
which gala was
help me
this?
too.
Okay, I was about to say.
And he comes in and goes, can I be the leader? And I'm like, and I said, if you're better than me, you can be the leader. What makes you better than me? And he just goes, I think I can do a better job than you. I said, okay, how? What experience? This, that, and the other thing. And then he like tells me his theories, and they're just freaking wrong. Like so incredibly wrong. Like the dude has never worked a day in his life, and he's trying to tell me, a professional, how to do literally anything, right? And
Professional,
that
quote
just
unquote.
is so don't you quote unquote me, son.
Oh, sorry.
We both know your resume doesn't stack to mine, so can that. But anyway, the so the it, yeah, he was not better than me, right? Long story short, and I love the gala, and I want the best for the gala, and if I am the best, then I will be at the helm. And he got all mad about that. He's just like,
It's called an ants
and
is
he's
not
like, oh, I
council.
deserve this. It's just a very narcissistic behavior. And I'm like, no, no, you can either help me, as I'm actually here, actually doing work, or you cannot be part of the team, right? And
Yikes.
so there was that. And yeah, then we just and then I feel like I'm gonna disclaimer this, I could be making this up, but I do remember him trying to leave like a really bad review on the gala because of that. Because I just wouldn't cave to his narcissistic tendencies.
Oh my god. one of the things.
which I am known for not caving to narcissistic tendencies, so I don't know why people think they can still try me.
Indeed.
Can confirm.
Gala 2 was just. To put it simply, Gala 2 was. It did. It was the. It was a rough hill to climb. We were able to do it, but it was basically a rough hill to climb. We weren't. We were still getting our footing in with media and well, it wasn't just media, it was everybody else each like sector of the staff. And you were basically, you know what I'm saying, right? We were still trying to find our footing of like organization and everything.
I didn't think it was the issues that we had. I didn't think they were really related to organization. I thought it was just a matter of budget.
Oh yeah.
And the part of it that was organization was just a matter of, hey, we've got these 5, 6 guys that live all over the place, and they you know, and a lot of them work. Me especially, I was freelancing at the time, so I was all over the place myself. And how do we get everybody together? And then the rest of the equation was just money, and money was a very consistent factor because we needed to be able to rent the right equipment. But the right equipment is costly. And
Yep.
so then we would try to make do with lesser equipment, and that ended up not working on multiple
Oh yeah.
levels.
I know we tried
Well,
DSLR. I think we tried DSLRs at one point and they almost worked, but it was just like I think some of them were like timing out early or something.
Yeah, DSLRs could only record for 10 minutes at a time. So the DSLRs were really good for filming
Yeah.
the commercials that we
That was
were
the
making.
worst
So
part of it.
they
Like
had their
we were like saying we were actually I remember we were I forget which meeting it was. I think it was like during when we live streamed. It was like a karaoke event at like this boba bar. And we were going to try we did this was like when live streaming was like still very young. It wasn't really good, but we tried what we did. And we did try using DSLRs. We were able to like HDMI it to I think we were using OBS at the time. But we were like so hopefully like this is working, this is working. Then 10 minutes in, we're like, oh oh my god. That was a good time.
Yeah,
That was
that
the
was
first time I ever
rough.
had bubble tea. Actually, that
yeah,
was.
that was well, we saw some
That
good moments though with our guest though. Kathy Westlock was a lot of fun to work with,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was great.
Oh yeah.
and
She was chill.
GM Barrow, she was fun. But one golden moment for me was when I actually did my own panel defending Equestria Girls, and when I got the panel, I was so excited, and I went to the gala Facebook page, told them I was doing this panel, told people to check it out, and I get one like, and I was crushed. And I just said, okay, you know what, dude, you're not gonna have a huge turnout, but just go in there, entertain the people you got, and be thankful that some people wanted to hear you speak.
Which is what you should do.
So yeah, so I gather up all my things. I'm kind of like talking myself down here. I'm thinking, you know what, this is probably a good thing because you know what, you haven't spoken in front of a crowd before. You don't know if you have stage fright. So yeah, this is for the best. So I get to my panel. I open the door. I have a packed house,
Oh my god.
standing room only. I even had people who were standing. And that little voice in the back of my head is going, let's see how funny you really are, bastard. Let's go. And I like just walking down the aisle, like getting a load of all the people who are here. It's like, they want to hear me. And
They
getting
wanted to hear
over.
somebody defend Equestria Girls, which was an unpopular opinion at the time.
So I'm getting all my things set up because I didn't want this to be some YouTube comment war. I want it to be fun, interactive, and well, I already said it, fun. Uh, And then suddenly, the door closes and it's time to go. So I do my first line. I just go, hello and welcome every pony. A buddy. Nothing. And then one guy saves me. It was Master Code. He goes, oh yeah, we came through the mirror. I went, you made a connection, run with it, go, 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 go. And I just kind of run off of it, just start riffing. And that's when people started laughing and having a good time. And it went over rather well. I couldn't believe it.
Oh my god.
And then suddenly I get to the whole reason why Equestria Girls even happened. And that was because Hasbro gathered a lot of fan art of the ponies as humans. And I thought, oh, this is what they want. Okay, well, let's see if we can work with this. And you guys have seen him. There's this one guy in the front row who's cosplaying as George R.R. Martin.
Oh my god, I hated
And
that guy.
yeah, and he just suddenly goes, "Ha! I doubt that was the fan art they were looking at." And I don't get what he's talking about, so I just keep going. I said, "Well, it may not be the same design, but the concept, yeah, it came from our fan art." He goes, "Not the fan art I've seen." Now I get what he's talking about. He's talking about the adult fan art that people make.
Obviously.
And that's when I let him have it. I went, "Here's what fan art you've been seeing." And everyone in the room dies laughing, pointing at this guy. And even he realized he walked into that.
Yes, he did.
I'm like, is there something you want to tell us, or do you have to use the restroom? And there's one woman in the front row who's panicking, going, PG, keep it PG. I'm like, actually, it's PG-13. Like, oh, okay. And the guy goes like, no, I'm good. Like, okay. Offer still up. We get one last good laugh, and I'm like, you walked right into that. I did, yeah. And then I had this joke I wanted to do where I say that the Equestria Girls book was written by our guest GM Barrow, and there's a moment where I kind of like go, wait a minute, hold on. I look at the book, kind of flip through the pages, and go, why didn't I do this sooner? Excuse me. And I run out the room. Now the joke was that I left the panel, my own panel, to run upstairs and get her to sign my book just to come back and do the panel. But the book was already signed, so I just ran behind a corner and just went 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and then I hear my panel go, Twilight time, Twilight time, Twilight time. I'm like, oh shit, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Run back in through, got it signed, and everyone starts laughing.
You see, this was amazing.
And I'm like,
yours was like a show. Yours was like a completely like plan on things show, which I can appreciate with your panels. Brawny, why weren't your panels like that?
Because my panels are different. I'm a different person, so I will run a different panel.
Oh, I can't wait to tell you about how my panel went on Gala 2.
And well, tell us how your panel went on Gala 2.
Hold on. I need to finish this.
Okay.
Because when everything was said and done, I come to you guys. You're sitting at a table, and you were just doing GM Barrow's panel, and you thought it was a disappointment. And like, so Cruiser, how'd your panel go? And I just go, I had a packed house. And you're both are looking at me like, what? Like, standing room only. I even had standers. And Brian,
I was in there briefly to get pictures for it, and I was very impressed with everything I saw, really.
Yeah.
And Brian, you were like, why didn't we film his panel? Like, dude, I wouldn't have guessed either.
Well, with me,
Yeah.
the gala, I appreciate the gala because they were the first panel I ever guested at, honestly, which it was an experience. So yeah, I have one panel during that whole. Sorry, I was kind of mesmerized because Cruiser's cat got on the screen again there. Apologize for the distance shot, everybody. There, let me just get back in the middle so everybody can see my beautiful face in this pool. So anyway, my panel, I was a guest there. They put me as like a last minute guest. It was the original like Gen 1 Mystery Brony Theater with what was it? It was me, Cameron, Higgins, and Zach couldn't make it. And it was just to premiere the episode of Runaway Rainbow. So you're probably wondering, how did your panel go? It went horribly. It went really horrible, actually. Because like we had this projector, right, that was given to us by Jason, right? You guys know Jason Ruth.
Yeah.
So he had a projector they lent us, and it had a speaker built into it. And the speaker, I think it either short-circuited or it wasn't loud enough because nobody in the room could hear anything. So I'm over there, we're over there premiering, answering questions, and then we premiere it, and like nobody can hear the episode. There was only one piece of footage I took from it, and it's like lost to time, and it was them reacting to me shouting "Stop smelling flowers," which was probably the only line they heard because I was yelling it. I I did I did try a homemade trick where I emptied out a small garbage bin and put the projector in there so it could amplify the sound, and it worked a little bit, but not like so much. So yeah, that was my first panel I ever had being a guest at a con. It was a disaster. Luckily, I learned from that, and my other panels were really good. So yeah. Um. So yeah, Gala 2 was pretty good. Good. Had a lot of fun. Did a lot of stuff. But Gala 3 was, in my opinion, the best one, no doubt.
Yep.
Brawny,
Yeah, and didn't Brawny break a piece of property of yours that year?
Oh boy.
What happened?
Didn't you break a piece of Evan's property that
Yes,
year?
he did.
Brawny?
He actually did. So
That's right. That was the the clapper
the slate
incident. The slate.
So
Where yeah, he got this slate, and I was like, "Hey, would you mind letting me use that?" Right? And I go to sync
no, that's not what
the
happened.
sound.
That's not what happened. How it happened. I remember what happened. You pulled the slate out and thought it was bent, and you tried putting it back into place, and then you snapped it in half.
No, what
That's
happened?
right. I forgot about that, right? And it was shocking.
Yeah, I did.
Even to this day,
I
how
calm my thoughts. I'm like, don't get mad, don't get mad, don't get mad. I hit you in the head with the slate.
No, what happened was that Brawny went to use it, and then he slammed that little plunger down, and that's when it broke.
We're telling the story way the heck out of order. I'm taking the reins back. Okay, so yeah, I had forgotten for a moment that I had tried to put the slate back together. So yeah, that's what happened though. The slate was bent, and I remember Evan going, "Oh dang, it's bent. This sucks." And I said, "I can probably bend this. It's really flimsy plastic. If it bent this easily, it should be able to bend back this easily." That was wrong. I put less force into bending this thing than I would a handshake, and it snapped. And that's why that was so startling to see happen, right? And so yeah, I felt horrible. I didn't expect that to happen.
Well, you bought me a new slate, so I can't complain back on that.
Yeah, of course I did. Of course I bought you a new slate.
Yeah.
But so that's fine, right? And so we get there to the night of the gala show, which is very important, and everybody's there. And everybody's doing their best, right? And then we go to sync the sound. I had duct taped it back together, and I synced. I clapped them, and it broke apart again, and like right in front of the table with Michelle Krieber, Daniel Ingram, John Delancey. Who else was there? One of the writers.
Dave Polsky.
Dave Polsky, yeah, that was him.
No, it wasn't Michelle Kramer. It was the Corlettes. Yeah,
You are right. It was the Corlettes.
Claire and Ian Corlett.
Ian and Claire, yes.
Whenever I see that footage, the only thing when that thing breaks, all I can see it is in slow mo in the background. I hear, "Ooh, what you say?" I only meant well.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you still have that footage?
Maybe,
I gotta look at my
probably
archive,
not.
see if I have it still. I think I still have the.
You're more likely to have it than I am. That gala was 9 years ago. B, 3 hard drives ago.
Oh yeah, I mean, I document it all. It's like, I thought it was the movie's writer. Honestly, what are you talking about? The one of the guests there, Blue Psycho Ranger. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, it was Polsky. It was Dave Polsky.
Yeah.
He was the writer of the movie?
No, he was the writer of other things, but
it wasn't the movie writer, dude. It was
the Scary Movie.
Polsky did
Scary Movie in South Park.
Yeah. And unfortunately, did he do the good scary movies or the bad ones?
I think he did the second one.
Was that one good? I don't remember.
The first two were.
Okay, good. But anyway, like, yeah, the gala show. Can I just say that the performance was amazing on Gala 3 during the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember Dip from Gala 2.
Yeah, I think Ronnie actually removed one of the cameras from the tripod to actually get shots of. I think you were doing the time warp.
No,
It was during that song.
So yeah, let me explain that. Bruce Carr, our guy, No Ordinary Balloon Man, played the villain. I think he was doing like a Little Shop of Horrors deal. What was the name of the villain? It was like friggin'
You got me, man.
I don't know. I think it was like
remember.
called something. Brawny, you don't remember this either, do you?
No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, what was the
I
name
just it was Audrey. Audrey 2.
Well, it wasn't Audrey 2, it was a parody of it. Well,
Right, but I don't remember that character's name, so
yeah, it's okay.
it was Audrey 2.
It's funny because I actually rewatched it with Bruce like 2 years ago. And the funny thing is that like it was shot well. You can kind of hear me doing camera commands in the background because I was the one that was directing it. I was telling him which cameras to look at and everything. I wasn't doing camera op at the time.
No, that was the fourth gala, dude.
No, I was doing it. No, I was doing that was when I did it remotely. I did this one like we were in the back and I didn't have any remote like director.
Yeah, no, he's right. That was 4. Number 2, we just had cameras on
No,
tripods.
this is
Yeah, because I remember Ronnie coming up to me like giving me hand signals for
Yeah, we had cameras on tripods. They were really bad freaking cameras, and they didn't work.
Yeah, that was Gala 2. Gala 2 show I don't remember much. Gala 3 was when Bruce was the
Yeah, in Gala 3 we had almost the right cameras to use.
They were
And
they worked.
we got pretty crazy. We got pretty crazy with the camera work in there, but that we were at that point we were still doing sound sync because we tried to do live recording and live streaming but we didn't have the budget for it.
Yeah, of course. We did experiment with a Gala 2, but it didn't really work out too well.
Yeah, I do remember saying at the end of Gala 2, hey, from now on, if we don't have the money to do something right, we're not doing it,
Keep in
because
mind,
at
again,
that point,
during Gala 2, when we were trying live streaming, this was like when live streaming wasn't really like perfected at the time.
I guess so, well, it was a lot of people had been live streaming at that point. And we were not the only ones live streaming the convention. I had picked up the idea from Everfree Northwest, but and they were doing just fine. The problem is that we didn't have the money to do it right. Everfree Northwest spent $50,000 on their media equipment alone.
Yeah.
We spent $10,000 on the entire convention.
Oh yeah, of course.
So at a certain point, it's gonna change what you're capable of doing, and because we tried to do all of this fancy stuff without having the right equipment is why it didn't work most of the time. So after Gala 2, I said, okay, next year we're gonna do it right, or we're not gonna do it. In terms of the media stuff.
For Gala 3, yeah, there was one point where Bruce is doing the performance and we decided to do some handheld shots. And looking back at when I was watching it with Bruce, handheld shots, they weren't that bad actually. It actually worked out pretty good.
Yep.
The final product.
Just hard to do that for a 2-3 hour show.
Well, no, this was just during that one sequence when it was handheld. Because the other thing was, the agreement was I had to use the footage to help with Bruce's video for it. So, yeah, we managed to make it work. I was actually impressed that the handheld worked. The only thing was just you'd see someone in like the principal shot or main shot.
And Bruce was crazy that year. Bruce was pulling 20-hour days.
Yeah, he was
working on his balloon
nuts.
sculptures.
He paid off. He was amazing at that show.
Yeah.
Like he was on
and believe it or not, it was actually Bruce's balloon sculpture that made John Delancey want to come down and check out the gala.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was something that Arlene told me.
Yeah, like Delancey, he was one of the best guests there. I thought he was amazing. I thought he was cool and chill. I thought he was chill.
Like, didn't
Yeah.
he? Like, I remember, like, wasn't there some incident with his when we were trying to record his panel, and uh I can't. It was the guy who was dating Arlene's daughter, and I guess uh John was kind of criticizing his camera work or what he was trying to set up, and he says to John, "Oh, do you want to do this?" And John goes, "I'll wait."
That was Tony, yeah, and it was yeah, John had some critiques for us the whole time. I wish he had been a little bit more polite about them.
Mm,
One of them afterwards was, that he got really mad that he thought we recorded one of his panels,
yeah.
and and I said, and apparently, uh, they were making threats, and I got on with him, and I said, okay, answer me these two questions. Did you see a red light on that camera? He goes, "No." I said, Okay, and you're sure you did not see a blinking red light on that camera?" He goes, "No, I didn't see a red light on that camera." I said, "That means the camera was off." Secondly, where was the camera pointed? He goes, "Down." I'm like, "That's right, it was down because it was off, and we wanted to make it blatantly obvious to you that it was off and not recording you. So we pointed it at the floor and turned it off." And that ended that.
Really,
So
I thought I'm surprised because I remember hearing that he enjoyed his time at the gala. He said it felt more like a family gathering than a con.
I can't disagree with that
I'm sure
observation,
I'm
honestly.
sure he did. I'm sure he did, but two things can be true at the same time.
This is true.
So the yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Well,
And I
that's the
Uh
thing. Like,
remember,
I remember. Hold on, I gotta fix my camera here. Sorry about that, everybody. I felt like it was like a family gathering esque thing. I can't deny that he was. Yeah, I remember one guy offered to dance with, asked him to dance, and he totally danced with him. He was chill at the main dinner show. It's actually kind of funny
yeah,
because
and
that
what I
was
actually kind
great.
of find hilarious was that Higgins and Cameron, they didn't go to the show because I think Higgins got sick, and Cameron, he had to pick someone up at the airport. And so the next day they had like a small recap of like an abridged recap of the musical, and Higgins showed up because I think Cameron had to leave early, and like he was like, I really wish I saw this show. It was really that was really good. But um the show was pretty
yeah, that
good.
was also the year. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go on. What are you gonna say?
Well, that was also the year they had the guest that I picked out, Daniel Ingram. Uh, what happened with that was I went to see Rainbow Rocks. Was just when it came out because I was going to catch it before work, and I'm in the theater and I am like just catching every single musical reference this thing is throwing.
Oh yeah.
And I even remember tweeting Daniel about it in the during the movie. And keep in mind, we had not met yet face to face.
Oh yeah.
And I remember telling Arlene, "We have to get this guy. This the soundtrack for this is going to be huge. We have to get him." And lo and behold, we did. And not only did we, but Daniel and I even hit it off. And I remember uh, he was talking about the openings. No, the second song that the Rainbows did, "Better Than Ever," and I can't remember this exact line that they said, but during the song they make some line, and he reveals that that particular line was written by Megan McCarthy, and who reveals that she is a serious smack talker. And I just remember thinking, this is probably why this is probably a response to the criticisms they got to the first movie. Uh, and and whenever Daniel was doing his panel, I was always hosting it, and he
Oh
was
yeah.
also very impressed how many people actually knew not just the musical references, but the time signatures, the chord progressions. Like he was impressed that people actually caught on to this stuff.
Well, yeah, you'd expect them to do though,
And
since they were like fans of music. But like, I know what you're saying. You were surprised at the turnout.
yeah, he was very surprised of the musicianship that a lot of people brought to the fandom. And lo and behold, I get to work for the guy now.
Brawny, didn't you host a panel at Didn't you host like a guest panel at Gala 3?
Yeah, they actually had me as a community guest for 2, 3, and 4, I believe. And each time I hosted my Brony debates panel. I hosted it on all 3 days, and it was always different. It was always a really good conversation. Um, Let me see here. On year 3, I believe, I hosted a panel showing off a live action film fiction adaptation that I had done with some of our cosplayers that were on staff.
Oh, was it that one with the
That
where they're playing checkers or something?
chess.
Oh, I
It was
love that one.
chess.
That was great. I
Yeah,
love that
and
one.
that one posed some challenges to me. First of all, the actresses were very difficult to work with. Second, secondly, you know, I was supposed to have people there helping me with the camera work, make sure I was, you know, because listen, the fact of the matter is, when you're directing, you can't do all the jobs by yourself.
Yes,
I ended
I
up
can
having to
attest to that.
I ended up having to do all the jobs by myself, and as a result, there were mistakes, and then I had to figure out how to get work around those mistakes in post. And to the keen eye, it's blatantly obvious where I worked around a mistake. But regardless, yeah, I showed that movie, and there was also, was it year 3 or 4 that I brought a LARP game there, and I had handmade out of pool noodles and plywood and PVC and foam tiles, a whole bunch of swords and shields for people. And it was a LARP game, and it was called Empire Invasion. I made a rule set for it. It's a completely original thing. And people showed up,
Blue Psycho Ranger
and
was
we got
stick
to,
with
you
me
know,
on
whack
any
each other
answering
with
those
these
questions
swords,
later at the
and I
age-reveal thing. I
hosted
actually
that, and
liked how you
I
complimented me on
recruited a
that,
bunch
though.
of people. It was originally supposed to be a ticketed event. I was supposed to have other help with that. That guy screwed me over. I was out 5 grand. Life goes on. So I ended up running that whole freaking thing by myself, and it was
Living the
so
con
much
life
fun.
right there.
That is
um,
not the con life. The con life is people actually working together and not blowing all of their money on cocaine when they said they were going to help you put this freaking LARP game together.
He means con as in you got conned.
I did get conned.
yeah,
I
there you
got
go.
conned pretty freaking bit.
I said the con life, not the con life.
Yeah, more like the convict life. Holy frick.
It's funny, like I remember that was Gala 4, but I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
but yeah, I remember I did 3 panels during Gala 3. One was Q&A for Mystery Brewing Theater, had a good turnout. I remember there was this girl. It was like 2 weeks before the gala, right? I got a message from a person online. Her name was Lauren. And she was a girl who messaged me saying, "Hi, is this Evan from Mystery Brony Theater?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's up? Yeah, how you doing?" And she says, "Look, I'm going to Gala 3, and I'm a little nervous to go. Can you give me some like answers to my question?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I'm like, well, first of all, I need to get this out of the way. I'm a girl with a cerebral palsy, and I'm like, "Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Go on. That's no problem." And she was wheelchair bound. She's completely paralyzed from like the head down or whatever. And she was a nice girl. So I tell her what to do. All the people are nice. They'll be there to help you. And she decides to go there. They're in a cosplay because of my inspiration. She went there as Tree Hugger, and she was adorable. She wanted to go to my panel. She thought I was a good friend. She liked to hang out with me. But yeah, she had a great time there, just seeing this all in action. So I was glad I was able to help someone adapt to it.
I
Um,
remember her. I never met her, but I remember seeing her around. I know who you're
oh yeah,
talking
she was a
about.
nice girl. She
Yep.
really was. Like I remember I got an audience reaction for one episode of Mystery Brewing Theater, and I can see and it shows the audience in that panel room like clapping because we premiered the episode I think it was Woe Is Me. And we could see everybody clapping. She's making an effort to clap as well. She was really happy. She said she had a fun time. I gotta see what she's doing nowadays. I hope she's doing good. But she actually showed up a couple of times at my job. I used to load her into the buzz ride a couple of times. Um,
Nice. How long ago was that?
this was like I don't know 4 years ago. I don't remember too much. It was a while. But
Mm.
the thing was that like it was interesting going there, and I had a fun time there, just navigating there. The hotel was great. I also got some. I also liked the thing I loved the most was making the promos for it. it was like every year I wanted from that was the year I started like the theming thing, and with Super Smash Brothers 4 being good, I wanted to base it all around that theming, and they all turned out really well. I loved the reactions, and
Yeah, I remember those. I don't remember if I was skeptical of them in the moment, but looking back on them, they were really good.
oh yeah, I mean I could probably do something similar that day. I do like just making the recreating the character splash screens, but I thought it turned out really good from what I did. Like the one we did with the with that took place in my set where he did John Delancey. I loved seeing everybody's reaction to that. It was really great. Um, Someone point out here, I think it was Blue Psycho Ranger, said he loved the HBO commercial themed one, and yeah, like funny enough, there was no real set theme for each year, but when I made that, I was just experimenting at the time. Like I say today, I'm more of an experimental editor, but when I made that, I'm like, I wonder if I could redo this here. And she thought it was, and I showed it to Arlene, and she's like, that is awesome. So the rest of the thing was just like complete and total, like, what was it? It was Hollywood Walk of Fame kind of deal. And the turnout was pretty good. I thought that I had to, the animation was scarce for what I could do at the time, but it did what I did. But the promos we made for
There was
the,
actually,
I'm sorry?
I actually just remember, not going back to GBG too, but there's a blooper that exists. It's still out there, but I remember uh, Evan and we got into our rooms, and he wanted to film something with us. Yeah, playing with our little pony
Oh
plushies,
my god, that was the first night I met you. Like,
and yeah,
oh,
and I remember, there's Evan going, "Oh, Florida, and I'm having a really good time." And I go, "It's Tampa."
yeah, that was Grand Brony Gala 2016. That was a Concombers episode. That was the first time me and
Yep.
Cruiser. That was the first time me and Cruiser were met each other. We went to the hotel and we were like two kids hyped up on sugar. We were just up all night just talking and shit. It was great. And now look at me, I'm doing a fucking show with this guy.
More than one.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Brawny, introducing me to Cruiser was probably either the best or the worst thing you've ever done to my life. I don't know which.
All a
Oh
matter of
my.
perspective. There's a duality in all things.
Oh yeah, of course. Friendship was magic. But like the thing that but like yeah, no, I like this bastard. But like the thing that was really cool was that just it was that was the Concomer episodes I did for Galas 1 2 I'm sorry, Galas 2 and 3 were probably my best work for videography. I really want to make more of those, but I don't go to a lot of new cons. But I think I like what they turned
Airfare
out.
could probably use your help.
Come again?
Airfare could probably use your help.
Maybe.
You
But
should really consider it. Mare Fair is a lot of fun.
yeah, Mare Fair. I don't. Are they coming back this year?
Yes.
Yep.
I
Just
might.
submitted a panel.
What was the when is it being held?
Uh, it's believe it or not, it starts on the Friday where your dad takes me and you to that concert.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it starts September 27th and ends on the 29th, I think.
Yeah, if you don't know Brawny, my dad's taking Cruiser and I to a concert for to see Beat.
I've heard about it.
Oh, you did? Huh.
Yep. I
Cruiser,
know everything.
of course you do. But yeah, Gala 3, the memories there were amazing. Just seeing all the fans. Like I remember this little girl walking up to me and saying, I know who you are. I love your work. Or can I get a picture with you?" So yeah, she got a picture with me. It was great, and I find it good. Like that was the year I really got to know Joey Oropeza, who does Pony Meets World, who then did Earth to Pony, and now he's doing Into the Ponyverse. I don't know what happened to him. He kind of dropped off the face of the earth and hasn't spoken to me since. I really want to get back in contact with me because I got a bigger project coming up that I need help on. Brawny, you're probably going to be involved with that with a couple of voices, most likely.
Okay, I
If
can do voice. I
if you want
can't
to, I
do
mean,
much else.
I'll let you know.
No, I love doing voice, and it's pretty much all I got time for these days.
Oh
So,
yeah, of course. I would, but that's a surprise down the road. But
But
Mhm.
But GBG4 was when things started to sadly go downhill.
Yeah, let's talk about GBG4. First of all, I'm going to get one thing out of the way. GBG4 came out during the worst year ever.
Yeah, we'll say that for the end because I have some thoughts on it. But
Yeah.
it started out pretty good because we just announced P New as our first guest, and people loved it. Everyone was looking forward to it. And then it came time for this Valentine's Day dance fundraiser we were doing, but sadly, hardly anybody showed up. And I think the big reason why is because it was also the same day that Deadpool was coming out, the first one.
Yeah.
But that was the year we announced the voice of Starlight Glimmer. I can't remember her name off the top of my head
Kelly
right
Sheridan.
now.
Rebecca Soykin.
No, she's Sunset Shimmer.
Oh, you said Starlight Glimmer, didn't you?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Kelly Sheridan.
Kelly Sheridan, that was it. Who was also the voice of Barbie, who Omi, idolized. And that was also the year we got a new venue too, which
Kind of. It was like the old
I-
venue that was used for Gala 1, but I know what you mean.
yeah, to be honest, I didn't really like that venue.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
I mean, yeah, it was convenient. It was close to the airport, but that was about it. Like our vendor's room was like a hallway.
Yeah, the thing was kind of a big thing too. Like we had people doing. We didn't have enough staffing. We didn't have a lot of like. We didn't. The equipment was fine. We had a good setup for a media crew. Which, by the way, Brawny, I want to bring this up right now, just to get this out of the way. The gala show, Grand Brony Gala show for, to this day, I'm gonna put me on full screen when I say this. To this day, was the worst thing I have ever edited in my life. Like no comparison.
I don't doubt that for one freaking second. I'm sorry you had to do that.
Yeah, it's fine. Like one of the things I was gonna do one year for Ants was I was gonna put it on. I was gonna do an entire 2 or 3 hour episode saying like this is the worst thing I've ever edited in my life, and I'm going to react to this the whole time there. Sure, maybe I might not have permission to dump this here, but this company's defunct now, and then I'm going to. So this is my copy. I can do whatever the hell I want with it. I edited it. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, I'm actually considering that, like trying to see if I can get back on the Gala's like main YouTube page and just dump it all on there. But like one thing that was, but yeah, like I remember a lot going on there. Like the show, the only thing I remember from it was the guy who played Dr. Hooves and Derpy doing the time warp and Bruce's performance of Come Sail Away. Which, in my opinion, I've seen him sing before, even before that, and it was like he was flawless at it. But the show was not really that memorable. Well,
Yeah, like I remember I can't remember exactly what happened, but I remember Ronnie, you were telling me about the script, and nothing really gets resolved story wise. It feels more like okay, so. And the other thing too is I remember is that the woman we had playing Celestia, she like we dim the lights, she twirls, and she's supposed to kind of remove this costume to show she's Celestia, but she actually removes like a second layer of clothing, revealing her bra.
Oh my god.
Yeah, wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, that wardrobe malfunction.
Highly
my goodness.
unfortunate.
Like, I won't deny. I do feel bad that actually happened, but like the thing that was.
Well, yeah. How do you not feel bad for a wardrobe malfunction? That's one of the worst things that could possibly happen.
Oh yeah, I will give them credit that they were able to power through the rest of the play with just holding back those tears. It was great, but like yeah, the play itself, it wasn't really too good, honestly. Like the dialogue was weird. It was delivered strangely. Like the setup, like I said, the media setup where I was in the other room with I was communicating with you guys through Discord, which was really cool. I thought it was great, and you couldn't hear me, and I don't think you couldn't hear me in the playback, which is really cool. Unlike Gala 3.
Yeah, and that was the whole point. That was the whole point of that. But
Yeah.
there was one there was a couple of parts where you were calling out these shots that didn't make any sense. And that might have been part of the reason you were having trouble editing it,
Well, no, that
is
wasn't the
because you
problem.
ended
I
up
just didn't like the shots because I only had like limited shots of where I was. But like,
right, and that's the thing. If you had called shots differently, you would not have had that
well,
problem.
the other reason was because like I had to edit it with another person, and I hate editing dual editing because it like takes up too much time and everything like that. I don't like doing it online. When we were done with the dual editing, I literally went back and was able to like re-edit everything in like I don't know 2 days tops. It's actually let me tell you a story here.
Mm.
When when I was editing that, I was moving right, so I'm spending the whole day in this hotel room with nothing but my desktop out. I had to bring it with me in my hotel room, set it up, rendering this thing. So when I finally done, I hit render. I literally stand up and saying, "I gotta get out of this room. I gotta get something to drink." So I go and get something to drink, and I come back. It's still not even done. I had to wait all night for it to edit it, to render. It was like crazy. But yeah,
That sucks.
yeah, it was crazy. I was cooped up in that hotel room. Like camera work, I didn't see any problem with it. It's been a while, but like, yeah, the thing was just like, I hated the movie. I didn't like doing it with another person, and I really didn't let did and editing it was a pain in the ass because of like what my computer was like at the time. This was like the old 2015 like 8 gigabyte Mac iMac before I got the super one. But that's an argument for another day. But like the thing was like, it was just it was horrible. It also didn't help that the when we did do the performance, the equipment was faulted because of a last minute accident that happened. What happened to the soundboard?
I don't know anything about a
I think
soundboard.
someone's cat pissed on it or something.
I don't know anything about this. This is the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
time
no, I
hearing of it.
remember this. So we had a mixing board, right? And it was cool. We actually looked at it and it was working really well. Except the day before it, I think it may have been I don't know who was holding it. It might have been Arlene, but her cat urinated on it and it like short circuited. So that's why the audio was
Oh,
really bad.
now I remember this. Yes, I was actually living with her when that happened.
Oh my god.
That was the worst thing.
Yeah, I felt so bad.
Because
Yeah, and a
we
little.
almost lost all our show audio. Like, we almost lost the ability to put on the show because of that.
Yeah, we did manage to get it to work a little bit. We had to like what did we have to do? We had to like do certain like mic channels or something like that, or like only certain settings were working.
Yeah.
The lesson here, everybody, is if you have pets, don't leave your equipment unboxed. Keep it in the box when you're done using it.
Yeah, and also train your pets, for God's sake.
Yeah, definitely.
That was also the year when we had Peter New. There was this little incident that we had in the photo op room where no one was coming in to see him, and it was
Same.
Friday, which are usually slow days. And Peter, we were all sitting there with him and his wife at the time, or girlfriend at the time, I should say, and he asked, what else is going on? And I grab a comic book and I said, there's some sort of Doctor Who's panel going on. He said, how come I'm not there? And I just gave him the only answer I could think of. I said, we'd have to pay you another appearance fee. And he just said, this is a waste of my time. And was just like starting to critique us. And that felt like a arrow going straight through my heart. Because I could already tell things were not looking good for year 4. And I did not want this to be the end of the gala. I've had a lot of fun, doing this. And Peter could sense, my discomfort, and he said, "What's going on?" And I just said, People have been saying a lot of things about us, not a lot of good things, like M.A. Larson. Is that what he say?" And I said, he said we're not a real con, and I start getting upset. I mean, like literally tears from my eyes, and that's when Brawny filled him in on just how hard we've been working, and apparently he had this look of, "Oh shit," go across his face. And man, he felt so bad after that.
I want to point out that's a
Yeah, he
rarity
did.
when it comes to guests when they do that. It's like really rare. Like people like that like feel bad for what they said.
Yeah,
Not just like con guests, but for anybody in general, for based on experience, honestly.
yeah, and so that really hurt. I mean, he obviously apologized for it. He said he was having fun. Uh, but then I can't help but find this like I still like for me it felt like I failed. It felt like I failed at my job, and I don't like that. Nobody wants to hear that they're a failure. And I've worked really hard to try, to promote this, to get people to come out, and it didn't do very well. And then fast forward to just a few years ago, uh, his wife and I got into it about the gala, and she said, "By the way, the gala sucked." Now she had no idea who she was talking to, but I told her, "We got you into Disney World. It couldn't be that bad." And she goes, "The con sucked ass." And that's what I said, "Oh, you mean the con where?" And I reminded her of what Peter said, and I started getting upset. And I felt so bad I didn't do my job that I got him David Tennant's autograph. And she goes, "The con sucked. It just blocked me." Oh my God, I just had her name. Nicole Oliver, like she actually saw that I was upset. And she spent the whole weekend making sure that I was okay. And we were all saying our goodbyes, and I say, thanks. I really appreciate that you checked on me. And she kisses me on the cheek. I can say Princess Celestia kissed me.
Hmm. But yeah, like it was interesting. I mean, like there were some good moments there. I mean, like Cal Payne showed up, which was pretty cool. He had a good time there. He said he went to my panel thanks to Higgins, and he said it was like one of the best panels there. Honestly, I'm not even saying that for bragging rights. He really did say that was his best experience there.
Who said
Nice.
that?
It was Cal Payne. He wrote that in his article for Equestria Daily.
Oh,
Yeah, it was interesting.
well, that was good.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it was interesting. Like there is footage of that panel still on the Mystery Brony Theater channel, which I'm really happy made the thing. Sucked I missed seeing AC Race Best and Saber Spark that one year. Oh, I don't think AC Race Best was there. Was he?
that was year two.
No, Race was not there. Saber and Black Griffin were there.
Okay, so I remember Saber, he said he was gonna crash it. He wasn't even on the guest list. He just crashed and showed up. Like
Yeah,
there
which
is
is
footage online of
fine.
him crashing Black Griffin's panel, and he was just there. I recognized him in the audience, like, dude, are you Saber Spark? He's like, yeah, man, what's up? He was chill. He was a good dude.
He let me interview him, so I can't complain.
Yeah, I heard he's I'll give him credit. He's a nice guy.
Uh, let's see. We also had Jason Thiessen that year, the supervising director. That was really cool because he basically filled everyone in on, I guess, I guess you can call it a secret about Equestria girls, because everyone was always, wondering, why they gave them skirts. And I was, and he said people told him like the funniest stuff, that it was to make them more marketable to girls, to make them more attractive to bronies, which he thought he was hilarious. And he said like all of those are not even close, guys. The real reason why they had skirts is because pants cost more to make
Yep.
for the toys. It just a few little inches of fabric cost so much money when you produce millions of these toys, that it was just cheaper to give them skirts. So all that speculating you saw YouTubers do was all for nothing.
Yeah. Oh, freaking Jablonski was the one who asked if AC Race Best was there. How you doing, Jablonski? Um, to which his reply was, "The gala was the best time I ever had in a hotel room." Lol. Oh yeah, me too. We sit there. He was there when I first got introduced to Rick and Morty. That was a good time. But like yeah, my memories mainly of the gala were stagnant. I do have, like I said, there were 3 panels I did that were posted online. That being the Mystery Brony Theater Q&A, the premiere, and the first Shaded Sight Studios Q&A panel that I did with Cruizer and Bright Idea, who didn't even know she was supposed to be on there, but I still brought her on. And
yeah, I remember. I remember like you were answering something involving anime, and
what?
everyone's like, yeah, do you were answering some question about anime, and
Yeah.
then someone asked you if Bright and I watch anime, and we're like, no, not really. But me being the smart ass, I go, hentai, yes. And
Obviously.
that got a lot of people.
You know, there was a line I used in an episode of Mystery Brony Theater that you said in that panel.
Really? What's that?
So it's the scene where during the flood. It was like the episode before World Part 1, where you know the part where we're duct taping the walls.
Yeah.
Miss Biz walks up saying like, wait, listen, wait, what was your name? Cruizer with a Z. Listen, why don't you? Because the Z hardly gets any recognition, and like you said that as
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, seriously, like no one says laser, they say laser.
Oh
Give it to the Z. The S is taking his work.
Lasers Z sounds awesome. Actually, there was something I wanted to do with Brawny in one of his panels, but we never did it. And I think you said, Brawny, you told me you wish we did this. I couldn't do it
Depends
because
on
my
what it was, because sometimes you come up with some really bad ideas.
There was a joke where I was gonna crash one of your panels. It might have been one of your Brony debates panels, and like somewhere between there, you were gonna stop and say, "Can you excuse me a second?" I was gonna be in the audience. You were gonna walk up there and punch me in the face, and I was just gonna be lying there unconscious the rest of the panel, just trying to like imitate to like continue.
Oh yes, that was a bad idea.
Really? I thought
I said it's funny. I said it's funny in concept for, those who might get the joke, but like in practice it wouldn't have been as good. So bad joke, like, because nobody would really get the joke, and it would distract from what that panel is about, which is creating conversation.
Oh yeah.
Now, one thing unrelated to the gala that involved the panel, Bronny, was that I remember you said you wanted to interrupt KP's panel as King Somber walking and making all this noise with your armor, sitting down just to get up and walk out and be a huge distraction.
I did that. It's not that I wanted to do that. It's that I did do that at BronyCon in
Yeah, I was about to
2017.
say KP wasn't at the gala.
Yeah,
I said
exactly.
I said
She
it was
wanted to come to the gala when, like, the second within the hour of us announcing John Delancey, she was in Miss Jacobs' inbox begging for a guest spot, begging to be a community guest. Okay, what do you need to be a community guest? I need my hotel, my airfare, and an appearance fee of something like that. And we're like, and she turns to me and goes, you run with this crowd. Is this worth it? Nope. Nope. She is not gonna bring anybody or do anything
Oh yeah, I
for
wouldn't
us.
have done that. Like
And
that was during the time. I remember this one memory I have at. You remember when she was
total
like?
grifter.
Do you remember this one? That one time she went nuts when she wasn't announced as a guest at BronyCon.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so on the Mystery Bro Theater Twitter, I responded to that by saying, "Silly KP, we said we were crazy about the guest. We didn't want a crazy guest." And like her response, she replies to the tweet and says, "Who are you and why should I care?" I screenshot. I'm like, I want to use that as a promo one of the promo quotes for one of my future projects. Who are you and why should I care, KP? Oh my gosh.
And now she's going through her own drama.
Well, that was the thing. Like in Gala 4, it was during her first drama when
KP has had several dramas, and they've mostly been of her own doing.
Yeah. Well, actually, the recent one wasn't her own doing. She actually won the war she's at right now. For all I know, but
Well,
now,
yeah, but
I don't know. I don't follow KP.
that was even to that was her own. Like, I know nothing about it, but I will say that was even to her own doing, because frickin' you were associating with Jerry Pete. Don't
Oh my
do
God,
that.
like
Everybody knows not to do that.
JJ Doodle says, no, if I get us into HarmonyCon, I want us to use that for the promo. Okay, I can imagine it now. I love Kim Possible a lot. lot has responded to the work by saying, "Who are you and why should I care?" But like the thing that's interesting is like it was during her first dramatic thing where her staff revealed that stuff about her. And there were posters being handed out around the gala of like that were like mocking her if you wanted to be work for a crew. And they were like just these mock posters that were posted that were like being handed out during Gala 4. I don't remember what they said. I think Higgins remembers it a lot better. But
Mm.
um yeah, that was a thing that was going on at the time. A lot was going on at the time during Gala 4, which aided in its downfall.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit
Yeah,
because
let's get the number one of the things that was out of the way was 2016 was not a good year. It was during a time when things were like out there in the political spectrum, and it was kind of a contributor. Everybody was going against other's throats. That was kind of one of the reasons that was a contributor to it. Not the main, but it was one of them. I'm not. There's really not much to say
no, I
about.
definitely agree with that because people like prior to 2016, yes, a lot of people were still butting heads over politics, but they had the decency to just walk away from each other. But when 2016 happened, that was when the mask came off, and people said like, "Well, you support this guy, then we can't be friends. So then you need to stop supporting this guy." And it showed a lot of ugliness in people.
It
And
is. I have since made it my life's goal to kill that aspect of the Brony fandom. I cannot adequately explain with words how much I hate that.
yeah, like I'll never forget when all the other conventions, said if you support, Trump, then you're not welcomed here.
Hmm. Me, I'm just on the other spectrum, not caring because like I don't really get involved in that stuff. But like you know,
Well, it's not you don't, you just don't know. I remember you told me that you don't really talk about politics because you don't really know this stuff.
well, it's partially that, and I really don't really care. But like, but my point is that like, yeah, that was there. The other thing that kind of contributed was like, it wasn't the downfall of the Brony fandom, but it was like, how do I describe this? What season came out in 2016?
That was 6.
Six was that the school?
No, that that was Starlight Glimmer's redemption arc.
Yeah, like that was. I remember one time when I was doing Mystery Brony Theater when I was working on the puppets, I marathoned all the seasons, and yeah, when Starlight Glimmer came in, and that's when the series started tiptoeing downhill and hill in my opinion. But like, I think it all just fell downhill when it went to the school. But like, the thing that, but yeah, the fandom wasn't really much growing. It was just at its peak at the time. But so yeah, there wasn't a lot of things going on with the fandom during that period that it was just it wasn't really getting too much recognition, especially for our events. The events we raised barely any money. I did like doing the promos though; those were a lot of fun. And
Yeah, that was the other thing too. Go ahead.
no, go on. What are you gonna say?
All those fundraisers we had, it didn't really bring in that many outside people. It was always just us, giving money for our own convention. We needed that outside capital, and we had a hard time getting sponsors, like legitimate ones. Uh, People who were still questioning the gala and whether or not it was, a worthwhile con. Uh, and even like as Brawny put it, some bad eggs who double crossed some people. Uh, I really can't say what happened personally, but we'll just say something involving the higher ups, like maybe
Yeah,
expected too much.
indeed. Like honestly, I'm not surprised that happened. Like I'm not saying fundraisers don't work, but if it's for like something with like the best way I can describe it is like you look at like other conventions. Sorry, car zooming by. You look at like other conventions, such as like conventions for like MegaCon or like at regular anime conventions that have like multiple properties and everything. thing. The fundraisers we were doing were for a Brony convention. I think the same crowd was just going to be coming regardless.
We also had a lot of competition with other conventions. We could not get around BronyCon and BabsCon and Everfree Northwest. Every time we tried to go to a different time of year to avoid one of those three, one of those three freaking moved their schedule to match up with ours, and now our convention is too close to everybody else's. So now we don't have now I as the outside, the average brony convention goer, I just went to BabsCon. I don't have the money to now fly all the way to Florida and go to the gala. So yeah, we got screwed over on the and I was recommending having it at a completely different time of year. Like if we had done it in the autumn or even the early winter, we would have
It was
avoided
late
a lot
August.
of that.
But
Yeah, but and that didn't work. And I think the reason that was given for that not working was that it would be too close then to it would be during the school year here in Florida, and that makes sense. But also we got to figure out what to do about that.
We also
I
wanted
think
we want
I
to move it
think
to Orlando, but the higher ups wouldn't do it.
well, Orlando is and was more expensive.
oh yeah, the sad part was if it wasn't Orlando, it would have had a better chance.
And everybody that was really running it lived in Tampa, so it would be extremely difficult because you got to be in and out that convention hall, planning things right up until the day of. And if you live 100 miles away, that's going to be extremely difficult to do unless you have, frankly, way more money than we had,
Oh yeah.
than anybody had. So yeah, they lived in Tampa. It was going to have to be in Tampa.
Mm-hmm. Which is ironic because the ones we actually had near Orlando had more participation.
Yeah, because most of the group lived in Orlando, but I don't know. There's not much that could have been done about that. We would have needed
Indeed.
to move the whole thing.
So
We would have
yes, that
needed
was
to
the
have somebody else run it, and then that would defeat the purpose of here's us running this charity convention for our departed friend. So at that point, it's not. It's there. It was a no-win situation.
really was, yeah.
I think to this day, I still think we did very, very well against all odds. Like, yes, in the grand scheme of things, like if you compare the best gala year to the worst ever Free Northwest year, the worst ever Free Northwest year beats the frick out of the best gala year in terms of how it was run and the money it was raised and this, that, and the other thing. But we put on that convention with 20 frickin' people. 20 frickin' people did the job that would take any other convention 100 people.
I think I know a good way to basically poetically say what you're saying. The fun, you guys are aware of the DashCon incident, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
They basically were a con with the same amount of people, and it was a disaster. We did this con with the same amount of people, and we were able to put on something essentially.
And for multiple years too.
Yes.
Right? At every other convention can say they were successful. No other convention pull off what we pulled off with the crew with the crew that we had. The fact that it even happened is something to be attested for in terms of our strength and determination and what we were trying to do and what we were able to do because of it. If we had not had literally every factor working against us, we would have been up there with Everfree, with Babs, with Winnie City, things of that nature. Maybe we would have had the money to move to Orlando and then grown even bigger from there, right? Could have taken over BronyCon spot. I'm into some lofty, lofty ambitions right now. We
Honestly,
had everything working against us, and we still won 4 years in a row.
indeed. Honestly, if it was still going on today, I honestly think the gala would have evolved into something different, not just for bronies, but also for like geek fandom. I mean, you could have just called it the Grand Greek Gala. Sorry, the
I
Grand Geek.
disagree there because I disagree there, and other people have recommended that before, but here's why that wouldn't work. It's because bronies do not get along with other fandoms. Bronies ponify freaking everything, but no other fandom wants anything to do with bronies.
Hmm.
So no, that wouldn't work. The second they knew people knew bronies were involved, they'd be out.
I disagree. I mean, like by that point, it would have been like other fandoms. But yeah, the question was, what happened after Gala 4? I can basically fill that in, and if you don't mind me taking the center stage here, because
I'll go for it.
I actually do have a story behind this. Let me just get my one cam set up here, just so you guys can see my face. Please excuse me, it's hard for me to see stuff because I'm at a distance. Stand by, stand by and enjoy the view. There we are. So what happened after the gala ended? We had a party. Afterwards celebrating the success. It was just like a staff party. It was a good time. Gala 5 was tossed in the air, but we didn't really know whether it was. But when I say tossed in the air, whether it was going to be come to fruition was heavily debatable. You guys know what I mean, right? Like,
Yeah.
so we didn't say it was impossible, but it was very possible it wasn't going to happen. There was a blog posted on the website saying that Gala 5 was being delayed. And this is where it kind of comes back to me. I'm not going to give every details, and I'm going to just give like vague details of what happened. So the promos for the gala, they were all me. I basically did everything there with with some of the staff members and some foreign voice actors. They helped me out with making these. So I apologize if this is bragging, but most of the events that happened, while they were advertised by everybody, my videos were the ones that were getting the most recognition in a way. You know what I mean, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
so yeah. Again, I'm not harking on anybody for saying they didn't advertise enough. I'm just saying based on on terms of visual things, the videos were the ones that got the most attention. So, which makes sense. I mean, they were seeing who was announced, what events were coming up, and it was interesting. People were watching, they were posting them all over the place for easier because of the internet. But during that year, during Gala 4, I didn't feel like I was going to do, if they were going to have Gala 5, I didn't think I was going to stay on staff because, like, I didn't, bear in mind, when I did it, it was all volunteer work. I made these videos not without any payment, which is fine. It was volunteer work. I can get behind that. But I kind of wanted to do more. Plus, I was during that time I was going back to college. I don't want to go into that experience by too much, but so I basically my schedule was going to be all over the place. There was not much I could do. So when Gala 5 was like in the air of limbo, I sent the Arlene a message saying that I wasn't going to be able to do anything if there was a fifth gala. I'm got some opportunities coming my way. I can't really keep up with a lot of the orders, so I apologize if this is the case. I said it was a fun time working. I love the experience. Thank you for everything. Um, so she replied with she understands everything going on there. There wasn't anything bad. And then a month later, the news broke on the website with a banner saying that the gala was not going to happen. And that they were retiring the group. It wasn't posted on the group's Facebook page yet, Left, so yours truly screenshot that banner on the website and posted it on there. It was so funny. She didn't really like that I did that, but like, yeah, that's basically how it ended, honestly. Let the record show here. Mibevan killed the gala. I like to just think
Okay
that
then.
was the case. Oh my gosh.
Well, I do miss it.
Oh yeah, I miss it too. It was a good time there. When I went to Gala 2 for the first time, I like to describe it as a gathering of every friend you've made, even those friends that you made on the playground for like one day. They were all there. You missed everything, and it was amazing. Brawny, your thoughts?
I've stated all of my thoughts at the moment. I would need something else to talk about in terms of I don't know, some kind of memory to talk about. I could go on for hours. We got 17 minutes left. But I
Uh,
could go on for hours about any given thing of those 4 years in the production, in the convention, in afterwards, what we were trying to do. I don't know. What exactly do you
how do
want
you
to
feel
know?
like the gala did benefit? Do you feel like the gala did have any benefit to your life?
Yeah, I definitely can say I learned a lot working on the gala. Um
What kind of stuff did you learn here, buddy?
Mostly the importance of a good budget and having the right tools that you can't really get away with ghetto fabbing everything.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
Cruiser,
ghetto fab. That I don't know if people still know what that means, but that's basically you can't always just try to cheap out on everything.
oh yeah,
There's a reason. If you want it done right, you got to get the right tools, and that's going to be an investment.
oh yeah, definitely. I feel like the like having experience on productions like that was also an interesting experience for the gala as well.
I also learned that remote management is darn near impossible.
Oh yeah, at least in a production like this, yeah. Cruiser,
Yep.
what do you think you gained through the gala? What benefit did you really have any like benefits that are still like affecting you today through the gala?
Say so. I learned a thing or two about editing. I learned a thing or two about filmmaking. I obviously met you guys. I working with Daniel Ingram. So yeah, I definitely got benefited a lot from the gala. Uh, if anything, it felt like a proper high school for me. And I don't think it's if it's not going to come back now, it's not going to ever come back. Period.
Hmm.
We do have Merrifair at least, uh, and everyone's off doing their own thing now. That was another thing that happened too. Is that a lot of us did grow up. We had adult lives to live now.
Hmm.
I know some of us got married, and I think even divorced. But yeah, it's one thing you can't escape, and that's getting older.
I feel
And you
like
have
the
and with that is new responsibilities.
for me for me myself, it was a lot of learning the experience of like I don't know, it was like it was I like the experience of working with of just having a lot of of working with teams. I mean, except for editing, that was a nightmare. But like the idea if I wasn't part of this group, I wouldn't have done a lot of stuff. I wouldn't have met Bruce, which also was thanks to Brawny because we shot that promo of him building the Rainbow Dash. And like yeah, I met him there because of Brawny Brian. Now I have a career with him now. Um I would have met honestly, if it wasn't for the gala, I wouldn't we wouldn't be doing this podcast right now. I would have met Cruiser. I mean, I would have met Cruiser. Would have gotten to know Brawny a little bit better. Wouldn't have met Jablonski. I wouldn't have met Kuma, who hands down had the best cosplay at the gala. I'm just gonna say up front. Um, but yeah, all the people that were on Ants, I met at the gala. Bright Idea. I don't know if I'm actually no, I didn't meet Bright Idea at the gala. I met her online. But yeah, the gala opened up a lot of opportunities of good friends, and I just feel like the experience was just something that was amazing. I liked how my dad was getting in on it too. He was like really supportive of the group as well, and the charity fund. And I think the better question is, I remember Cruiser. We interviewed the little girl from Manos: The Hands of Fate, Jackie Neiman, excuse me. And you asked her this question that I want to push on to you guys. If you ever had the chance, would you do it all again?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely, especially knowing what I know now and how to make it better.
Oh yeah. Honestly, if I were to do it again, I would definitely. I would like to find a way to appease it to other fandoms. In a way, I don't see myself
I'm
self
telling you, man. I'm telling you, man. It's a fool's errand. Bronies can show up to anything, but nobody's gonna show up to the brony thing except
Well,
bronies.
it's
I
not.
promise you
Well,
that.
it wasn't. I wasn't.
I have seen too many other people try it.
Well, no, I'm not saying I would have made it a full-on brony convention. I would have like made it more of a mixed fandom for everybody to come.
Like a
All right.
convention.
Basically, yeah, an anime convention, full-on geek convention, evolve into something huge. Because
All
that I
right.
actually was curious of that because I remember during Gala 3 when Jelancy was there were a lot of Star Trek cosplayers that were there as well, which I thought was really cool. Um, but aside from that, I would do it again. Maybe it depends. There, I didn't really like I don't really feel like I'm gonna work at my or make my own convention anytime soon because of how hard it was. It depends on what my job would be. I'm not the type of person that would run my own con. That will probably never happen. Never. Never, Cruiser. Never.
Well, frankly, Evan, you're not good enough at leadership or delegation, so
Hmm.
you don't have to worry about that yourself.
What he said.
It depends on what my job is. I mean, like I have done. The gala did open opportunities for me doing photography at other conventions where I did lead some media crews for some good products. Because these were more or less like local conventions, safety conventions, and other stuff there. My father was able. I actually did a couple of stuff for my father, which got me some stuff for other events. I've done some other conventions in the past. It's just been a long while since.
Yep. And that was roughly my goal in working with you guys. I wanted to make sure because I mean, I can teach a monkey how to do the things that I do, but and it was very important to me that you guys took away skills that you could use further down the line. And
Hmm.
that's still the case. It's been a little bit since I've had an opportunity to actually sit down and work on anything. But I'm working on teaching Cruiser how to edit now. And from what I'm seeing, from what I have seen, he's doing a good job in picking it up pretty quick. So he'll be good. He'll be good soon.
Indeed, indeed, he's been taking baby steps up that ladder, which I'm really impressed with.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I first gotta get over whatever the fuck I'm sick with.
Anyway, see, I think since we have no other comments on it, I think this is a good place to stop the stream. Honestly, I think we've had a good discussion about the memories we've made on it, and
Yep.
so on and so on. If you have any final words, I'm gonna let Brawny take the floor here. This isn't a final five, by the way, people. I'm just giving people just the open mic at this point. Let me just get everything set up here. Please excuse me once again because I hate doing this and I hate the fact that I gotta keep doing it. It's driving me nuts. It's driving me nuts. I apologize. Please excuse me. All right,
Have
Brawny, if you
you
have any
tried?
what?
I was gonna say, have you tried getting good?
Have I tried getting good?
Yeah. That's how I solve most of my problems. I get good.
That's pretty much what I've been doing. Like,
I
it's
mhm.
funny because like as of recently, I've been trying to up my skill set. Like, I've been doing a lot more stuff with cosplay and like weathering models.
Alrighty then.
models. Like I'm working
So-
on stuff for Galaxy's Edge, for a Galaxy's Edge cosplay where I learned sewing stuff together. Like I'm learned how to weather models. Really good stuff.
Good, good. And before the stream, we were talking about motion capture and VTubing, and at some point in time, I might pick your brain about that. But in terms of my closing thoughts here, is I want to see everybody at Mare Fair, because Mare Fair is doing it pretty good right now, and I would like a revival of the Florida Brony scene, if at all possible. And in order to have any hope of that, we need support. So I want to see everybody at Mare Fair. I want to see you all at my panels, if I have any. I want to see you all at Evan's, if he has any. Evan, I better see you there. And I want to see you all at Cruiser's panels, if he has any.
Well, it depends on what my schedule's like, but we'll see what happens. Keep in mind, I'm saving up for
Screw your schedule. Ponies are more important.
Sure they are.
There is nothing more important than ponies.
I can think of several.
He is right.
Oh my god.
Well, then
Cruiser,
you're not a
stop.
real brony. Check out this faker over here.
Is that what we're getting at? Okay.
You fake gamer girl.
It's the long hair, isn't it? Okay, Cruiser, your final thoughts. You go.
Like Brawny, I definitely want to see people at Mare Fair. I would love to see the Florida Bronies be revived, but you actually have to put forth an effort. Okay, you just can't sit on the sidelines and hope for the best. You got to actually show up. You got to actually do something. And this one is a lot more laid back. You don't have to watch your language so much with this one. And we're even planning another charity stream with Lee Tokar. So be sure to check that out. Please come to Mare Fair and have a blast. Remember what it was like when you first got involved with this.
All right. Thank you for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back next week with more stuff. Oh yeah. Wait, hold on. What's today's date?
Today's the 9th.
The 9th. Oh god.
The implications.
Cruiser, you know what that means, right? It means on the 9th we gotta do that one thing we hate doing every year during the summer. That's right. Next week we will be doing our votes for the Kids' Choice Awards. A tradition that we hate doing, but yeah, we gotta do it. We gotta see what the kids are watching these days to make us feel more and more old and disappointed.
No.
Well, it's a tradition that we hate that we still love. I don't know why, we just do. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, everybody. I'm going back down. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Good night.
It's the end of the show, so don't blow it. It's the end of the show, so don't blow it. It's the end of the show, so don't blow it. End it right.
My life is a bacon-wrapped hell on earth.